Welcome everyone to zInspector's first time going live, and thank you to Paul and Wolf for uh, doing this on the PM Systems conference side of things. I am Tim Wallace from zInspector, and we're going to be discussing a few things today, really around AI and automation, some really cool things around tenant-led inspections, and some guidance with Paul's going to tease us about some Tenant University ideas. And then we're going to be talking about PM Systems Conference as well. And zInspector has been proud to support PM Systems Conference for a long time. We love it. And then to kick things off, we'll go ahead and start with some quick intros. As mentioned, I'm Tim Wallace. I manage our strategic partnerships over here at zInspector, and I've been here a little over a year. I've been in the industry, though, for, oh my goodness, we're coming up on 7 years now. Pales in comparison to Paul and Wolf, though. So, in fact, Paul and Wolf, if you guys don't mind, if you can do your own introductions, we'd love to hear you lift yourselves up.
Well, I'll introduce Wolf. Wolf is my Wolf is the awesomest guy to work with in the world. I mean, he does so many different things in property management and everything else. Wolf is very ADHD in the fact that he has like 50 million things going on at once. So I'm the actual ADHD. He's just ADHD in the sense that he has all these things going at once, and he can keep things organized. So he's my AI guru, and I'm stoked to be able to be partners with Wolf.
Yeah, well, same here. Paul brought me into the fold. It was
4 years
before
ago.
COVID. Yeah, a while ago, and asked me to speak. I didn't even know who Paul was, and I've never really spoken. And so I was like, sure, what the heck, right? Because Paul's like, hey, well, play for your plane ticket and your room, and like I was like, all right, let's do it. So went and had a really enjoyable time, and I kind of saw the vision that Paul had for the systems conference, and it became really clear that he used to be a teacher, and so was I, and so I just could see school being delivered to the PM space. So did a couple years and helped out, and Paul said, hey, you want to be part of this? And I said, sure, I'd love to work with you. And it's been very enjoyable seeing how he attention to detail and looking at where do we want to take this conference and being able to help with kind of the tech and operations side of it, but been very enjoyable. His when it comes to the math and the budgeting and seeing what people want and being able to make sure that we're providing the Nordstrom's experience for our customers, Paul, definitely that is top of mind. So it's been really enjoyable working with him.
Nordstrom's of the 1980s, I always preface. Not Nordstrom of today. Nordstrom's of back in the day when the customer was right, even if they annoyed the crap out of you.
Say, what's that story where someone brought in a set of tires to return and they accepted them, even though there's no way you bought tires from Nordstrom?
No, we've all heard that story, and our goal is always trying to make things easier for all the people. And Laura knows it because I say it all the time. Is this easier for our sponsors? Is this easier for our clients that are coming? If not, let's make it easier for them and harder for you. So Laura's in this call too. Laura is the, if you need my brain to be kept in a right direction, Laura is the holder of my reins and tells me what I need to do, where I need to go. Texts me in the morning saying, hey, you're going to do this, this, and this today. Text me 20 minutes before, 10 minutes before, 5 minutes before. A lot of times, keeps it so I actually show up to things and that I don't get sidetracked with my my severe ADHD that she's grown to be able to handle.
So it sounds like a lot of us have ADHD here. Thank you to Laura for being the everything of PM Systems Conference, is how we've phrased it as well over here at zInspector. Anytime we need anything, we email Laura. She gets back to us. She is the go-to. And I'm sure every other sponsor feels the same way. And then last but not least, we have the amazing Carol Housel, who just recently joined zInspector. But I'm sure many of you in the industry are no stranger to Carol. She's definitely made a name for herself and the amazing things that she's done with, marketing and events and everything for the property management space over the last, I think it's been 5 or 6 years for you as well, maybe even more.
Yeah, 7 years in the PM space, proptech. Yeah. Thank you for that very kind intro, Tim. I appreciate it. I'm happy to be here.
My pleasure. I think I'm more happy that you're here. So thank you for being here. But yeah, I wanted to also point out one fun thing. I noticed between the three of us, me, Wolf, and Paul, we are talking to three folks that are, well, basically it's the California takeover. Wolfgang is in the Bay Area of California. Paul is down in Southern California.
No,
At least
I'm in Reno. I am Reno,
You're-
man.
you're
I moved 4 years ago.
But your business when you were running it was down
It
in
was in
Temecula.
California. My business was in California. I am California born and raised, and I will defend California and I will not defend California. I'm on both sides. So you talk crap about California, I'm the first one to get in and tell you all the wonderful things about it. And I will also, since I was born and raised there, talk crap about it.
That's the boat I'm in as well. I may live in Virginia now, but I'm a California kid at heart. I was born and raised in right smack on the Central Coast in Prudendale, Salinas area. But I went to high school in El Dorado County. So, Paul, I'm sorry, but Reno, we basically claim you because you're close enough to Tahoe. You're part of California still. You couldn't get that far away.
Not on taxes. You don't claim us on that.
That works. Awesome. Well, no worries. In terms of that California experience, though, I mean, you guys bring a lot of background to really, a state that's known for being not necessarily the kindest to property managers, but have done some really cool things with the businesses over the last few years. And Paul, when you were still running one, I know you've since handed off your business to someone else, but are still running this side of things too, and working with people all over the country that are experiencing this kind of experience with folks. But still making it work in terms of tenant relationships. So right off the bat, wanted to jump in on something we teased, Tenant University. What is that, and how are you introducing that to property managers and making it work in the space?
Well, I want to say that I invented Tenant University, but I didn't. I stole the idea from another property manager who was doing it. And I just kind of made it better. And we are making it way better before the systems conference. We're working on AI components and other components to it. But what Tenant University is, it's basically training your tenants before they move in, what your expectations are, how to do things, what they need to do. And it makes you money because a lot of times we don't charge tenants because we didn't inform them the right way. And I hear all these property managers say, well, it's in the lease. Well, as we know, tenants don't read the lease. They don't read, like most of us do not like words. We like watching videos. So it's a lot of short videos that teach you how to do what you're going to do. Very, very simple, gets the tenants through. And it really helps with, the reason I love it, it helps with reviews. So it helps with reviews because your tenants have a really good experience when they're moving in. They know the expectations, they know what to expect from you, and they're not ticked off when they have charges for things. And the way we use Tenant University with zInspector, this was a gold mine. And this helped our owners. Our owners loved it. Well, we had in our lease that tenants had to take pictures of the front and backyard every 2 months. Every 2 months they had to do it, or we'd be happy to do it for a fee. We would drive by their house, take the photos, charge them for the convenience of them not having to do it. But then we would have someone in Mexico that would assess the photos, look at them, make sure that they got all the parts, make sure they didn't miss anything they did. They tell them, hey, you got to do this part of it, this. It's geo-stamped with zInspector. It's location stamped. So we know they're not taking a picture of their neighbor's yard. We can see exactly that it's their yard. And then like if we saw that, oh my gosh, there's some serious issues with this yard, then we would send them a notice like, hey, we need to get this grass, this part, this. And then we would probably say, get it done the next 2 months. We would not send those to the owner, those photos. We would try to get it worked out and work on our end. If the yard was looking great and the backyard was looking great, we would send it to the owner and be like, hey, we just did a drive-by. We were in the area. We didn't say we were in the area because we didn't lie. We would just say, we have pictures of a drive-by inspection. Here they are. We're not lying. They are drive-by inspections. We didn't drive by. So that saved us a lot of money. And our owners were like, oh my gosh, you guys are so Like on top of it, I'm living in Virginia. If I had to go buy my property 6 times a year, the cost, and it just made them happy. And so that was a cool thing. It doesn't help you get new owners in the sense that Tenant University does not help the owner at all. Like it really doesn't. But when you're selling to owners and you're trying to onboard a new owner and you talk about the Tenant University, none of your other competitors do it. And then the owner's like, wow, you train your tenants. So it's a good selling point to get new clients. Old clients, if you just started, they're not going to be like, oh, you started this, great, this is wonderful. They're going to like the service you're giving. But it was really huge with new clients. So there's a lot of benefits to it. We do go over that. And all of our new things that we're doing with the Tenant University, which we're working with zInspector, David from what our team is working on creating the Tenant University better, we are giving out for free at the Systems Conference. We're going to give the new version out, even though I don't have tenants really anymore, besides 15 of them of my houses. Even though I only have 15 tenants, I'm giving this out for free because I want anyone who goes to the conference to be able to get this. And it's really easy to set this up, and it will not take you very long. So that was the long version of it. I'll go there.
That's awesome. So essentially, it's helping your tenants be the best types of residents in order to keep the business going, humming. So in terms of like implementation for something like that, like we mentioned, some of these states don't necessarily just let you throw fees at tenants and stuff like that. What does implementation look like for something like that?
But even if they don't let you throw fees, you can still have expectations on what tenants need to do. And you can still have, most tenants are compliant. So I would say let's just use 1,000 doors. 1,000 doors, 900 of them are going to do the tenant university. They're going to do the drive-bys. They're going to do what they need to do. The 100 that didn't, if you can charge a fee, it's great. You charge a fee. You send someone out for 100 doors. It might take them 2 days. You're going to make quite a bit of money on those 2 days. But let's say 100 of them don't do it. Well, that is something that would definitely be in question, that they're not following their lease when we go to renewal. And it might make where we're going to make, how much we're going to bump their lease up, other things we're going to do. But we're going to still send someone out and do the drive-bys, just not every 2 months. We'll probably do it every 6 months. So if your state, which most states do, I don't know about California. 4 years ago, California allowed you to charge, $50 is what I was charging if I had to do a drive-by, because it was part of your lease. It was part of your requirement. California, I know they're trying to change laws and everything else. I wouldn't know that. You would have to look at your specific state. But if you're in a red state, I know they allow it. I mean, most states will allow that.
Awesome. That's great information to know, especially around, the numbers of tenants that would actually do it. Generally speaking, most tenants were compliant and were willing to go ahead and take those pictures and submit them to you guys. In terms of getting those requirements out to them, did you guys generally just communicate it in like an email or?
So I heard zInspector has a due date submission, and I've heard that came out, but that didn't exist 4 years ago. So so now it'll even be easier. That's why I'm saying David's going to work with you guys to make our Tenant University even better with zInspector. I'm going to have him kind of work through that. So someone using zInspector and using Tenant University, at the time we used Lead Simple. So we had everything come up in Lead Simple. We had a process, procedures, and so we had automated emails that would state like, hey, this is due in the next 30 days. Just submit to us. And then we'd have one that would do when it was 15 days, one that would do 7 days, and one that was when it was 1 day. And then it was like, hey, it's late. In 14 days, we're going to do it and charge you. Gave them 14 days after it was late. And then at day 21, we usually didn't do it at 14 because, we didn't want to be like day 15, do it. At day 21, we just did it and charged them. And then they would see it on their bill. They were notified automatically through Lead Simple 6 times or so. They got lots of notifications. So, and if a tenant was going to sue us or something, we'd probably just drop the charge. It wouldn't be worth it. But most tenants are like, oh, sorry, I didn't get to it. Yeah, I get it. You sent me a lot of emails. I was really busy with work. And they would just pay it. And then a lot of times what we would always do as a company, we always would forgive one fee once. And we had it as a system-wide process for our whole team. Late fees, these fees, any of those fees, you mess up one time, we forgive it. It's in like our policy. So we're not forgiving this family 3 times and this family no times, because then you're going to get in compliance. So we kept track of it. We kept through it. And so we would always forgive. And then we'd be like, hey, we forgave your late fee 3 months ago. I'm sorry, we can't forgive this. You've been non-compliant twice. And then a year from now, we'll forgive you again, something. So we had a company policy that you got one mistake, whether it was an NSF fee, a late fee, any of those fees, you got that one time every year. And that was it. And so as long as you go company-wide policies and your people are trained on that, then you don't get into the, we forgive Johnny because he's nice, and Carol, we don't forgive because we didn't like Carol. And we don't want to be like that. We want to be like, we love Carol, but I'm just using an example. So, so we wanted to make sure that we did it the right way.
That's awesome. I was gonna say, and I think you doing that in the past definitely probably Andy, our awesome CEO and over here at zInspector. He's great at listening to feedback from customers like you guys. And so over the last couple of years, we've perfected really the tenant-led inspections now, where if you're not doing tenant-led inspections right now, check it out, because now you can create your own templates for the tenants to actually be required to fill out. You can send out those invitations yourself. And then just recently we added, you can do a multi-tenant inspection now too, sending out multiple invitations. So folks that might have multiple lease signers on a lease that need multiple people to complete an inspection, or maybe just have all of them work together to complete that inspection. Really similar to with multi-device inspections, using different phones to complete an inspection.
I don't want to toot my horn, but I believe that your tenant-led inspections are because of me, because I was sitting there telling you about my Tenant University, and we used to have people go out with cameras and take photos and then email the photos. And I told Andy, I'm like, yeah, if only our inspection software worked for the tenants. Like, we have to get the photos, we have to upload it. And he's like, it's coming. And I don't know if it really was coming or if he thought in his head, oh, that's something I'll just make, because he's one of those guys who hears a thought and he says it's coming, means he's going to go work 80 hours in 1 week and build it. That's just Andy builds things. When you give him an idea, he builds it. But we were actually sitting at breakfast. It was in Arizona before it came, and I was telling him about this, and then he said it was coming.
That's awesome. Well, it's not just Andy anymore. He's got an entire awesome engineering team behind him, thank goodness, and they are all amazing. We'll touch on them in a few minutes as well. But in terms of, you've been presenting Tenant University a while for different groups and different conferences and whatnot. What have you been hearing back from PMs so far beyond your experience, that other folks that you've shared this with?
Well, this year I've just kind of pushed it this year. In the past, I didn't push it a lot. I want to see people implement it. I would love to see that. This year I presented in Texas, I presented in San Diego. I told them I'm going to give all those people the updated version. If you go to my conference and you have used it or you have done it, I would love to hear from people that use it, because I found it to be fabulous. But I'm seeing what people think. A lot of people are just afraid of the whole video aspect, and I had my entire team do different aspects of, even if they didn't want to. I want people to be able to see your face, and you don't have to be good at presenting. You just go out there, and we're in the YouTube generation where mistakes people like. So so it's just getting people past that. I don't want to go on camera. I don't like cameras. And it's just do it.
I mean, messing up on camera or on stage it's fun to learn from those experiences anyway. I'm one of those weirdos that likes making a fool of myself in public, just because it's a learning experience for all of us, right?
There you go.
Awesome. Well, hey, that's amazing information. And like we said, it sounds like you're going to be presenting more of that at PM Systems Conference as well. So stay tuned for some more specifics toward the tail end of this around getting registered for that. But kind of shifting gears here now to, obviously we talked about tenant-led inspections. zInspector's whole suite is, a full inspection platform where we want to help your field teams and everything be able to complete things as seamlessly as possible as well. And your office staff be able to handle any and all reports that might be coming in, work orders that might be generated from inspections and everything. And that's a lot of task management. In the last couple of years, I've heard from Wolfgang a lot in terms of really operationalizing, systematizing everything, and automating as many of those tasks as possible. And now just in this last couple of years, the shift has been really toward a lot of AI. So shifting gears over to Wolf, if you want to give us a 10,000-foot view of kind of your fun operationalizing everything and implementing AI in your company, how are things looking right now for you?
The crazy world of Wolf. Yeah, so I think the 10,000-foot view is that AI is definitely present and can help with a lot of things, but it's not there yet in the sense of that it can like do everything, right? You hear about AI agents and agentic AI and generative AI, and it's like, oh, I'm just going to have AI do everything. It'd be great. It can do quite a bit, but it's not to the point where it can take over certain aspects or all aspects of a business. So for us, we've been focusing mostly on having AI monitoring data, alerting at certain points, and then providing recommendations. And so we take our information from AppFolio, Rent Engine, Property Meld, the different tools that we're using, and looking at that information to then alert us and then provide some recommendations. And one piece that in regards to zInspector is comparing before and after photos. And actually inside of Crane, we have some way that is taking your reports, putting them through ChatGPT, and it's spitting out this is what the tenant's responsible for. So like there's some huge advancements that AI can help with, but I think it's more in that it's definitely in the infancy stage, and it's definitely best used as a like a co-pilot or a wingman, so to speak, opposed to just being a whole dedicated piece. We're using the AI component of zInspector and being able to just walk and talk, and I wouldn't say grabbing screenshots, but it's taking the stills of the different items and helping to write out the reports, and that's making it a lot easier for our team. Our team loves that feature, so it's pretty cool. I don't know, does the AI component work on the tenant-led, or is it only on staff-led?
It's just on staff-led, so
Okay. Yeah, that thought just crossed my mind. I'm not trying to throw zInspector on the bus. It's just like, I've never had one of our tenants mention that. I wonder if they have that feature. So it's pretty cool. I think for us, on the PM side, where AI, is really going to pay dividends, I think is helping us to find meaning from data that maybe we either glance over, or because data is so fragmented because of tech stacks that it's hard to see it all together. So trying to bring it all together and get meaning from it, and then getting recommendations is kind of what we're working on currently.
Awesome. I say you teased a lot of zAssistant there. In fact, I think I might have the robot on my back. There it is.
There you go.
There's zAssistant for you. It's our
Yeah.
cute little robot. But in
You call
terms,
him Becty? That's what he needs a name.
it's zAssistant.
Yeah, but that's like, it's long. What's his nickname?
I was
Or her
thinking
nickname, or its
Ziggy or
nickname?
Z. Yeah.
Yeah, Z.
He's adorable.
Z, I like Z.
Yeah.
But yeah, zAssistant is what you mentioned. A lot of things. I love that you're already doing things that are on our roadmap. So you're another one of those people that's got ideas that have probably already been taken into
I share
consideration.
them with Andy too. So
So definitely teasing some more ideas there. But zAssistant, yes, if you haven't tried zAssistant yet, I believe every account does have access to it for at least a few videos in every inspection. There's a quick little run through within the zInspector app if you are starting a move in or move out, anything you need to do. But yeah, essentially what, like Wolfgang said, zAssistant is there to help you fill out your entire report for you. Capture those images from the videos you're taking. So instead of having to go around the entire room and take 20 pictures of everything that's going on, write descriptions and notate all the conditions, add in work orders and everything like that, zAssistant will do everything in that for you.
yeah, it saved us. I mean, we started tracking for a while, and then we're just like, yeah, it's good enough. But we were shaving about 30 to 35 minutes off of each move in or move out inspection by using zAssistant. So I think like that's a great example of AI usage that actually moves the needle for your company, that you can show like, look, we've saved 35 minutes. What is 35 minutes worth? So if the person's billing at, $50 an hour, you just save $25 right there per inspection. So if people are looking for ways to, like, oh, there's a lot of fun stuff I can do with AI. Like, I'm using ChatGPT and reworking my writing. That's cool. But if you're looking for, like, well, what's the next step where I can actually use AI to make my company better and then I can see it, the zAssistant feature for sure checks that box.
Awesome.
Well, what I was going to say is, AI makes mistakes, but people make more. And so AI combined with people is awesome. If AI helps people make those things, I mean, like I use AI like for our speaker talks. When you're going through your speaker talk, we're using AI the whole time to generate the title, what we're going to do, to give us ideas. Now, they're not creating the talk, but they're generating, this is your idea, this is the way we can do it. So AI is so powerful, and I just think we need to like look at how AI can assist our employees, not replace them, but assist them and make them so they're more efficient, and so we can get better customer service.
100%. I was going to say that even that's our philosophy over here at zInspector too, where sure, zAssistant is generating that entire report for you, but before that report is actually published and sent to your PM software, wherever you need it to go, there's always a human element to that, where your team needs to check it off and make sure that everything is what you want it to be and that your quality stands up. That isn't to say, though, there's different personas within zAssistant that's really cool too, where you can do super simplified, where it's just capturing a couple pictures. There's, the basic, where it keeps kind of an average amount of pictures that you might need. And there's super detailed, where it might grab 20 or 30 pictures for a specific item that might need a special repair or whatnot. So I was going to say, Wolf, if I'm not mistaken, you guys have our Meld integration turned on as well?
Yes.
How's that
It's great. I mean, you literally, as soon as you mark stuff damaged, it's creating the individual melds. And so we use Appfolio, and so we had it create work orders. But as a meld user, that was such a huge time saver because it just cuts out so much busy work. So it just creates it. It puts in all the fills out all the fields. I mean, it creates a complete meld, so it's ready for assignment, which I think with AI, that part, I'm sure Meld is working on things too, but I could just see that that's the next piece is if you have something triaged really well, why not just auto assign it to the person that you've designated handles that type of work, right? So I'm really excited about that, but I think it's a great collaboration between zInspector and Property Meld, and both companies have pretty high functioning, useful AI. Like there's a lot of companies that are just strapping on AI. They're not AI first. And obviously both companies, your products were not pre AI, but pre like everybody's using AI. But it's definitely been very beneficial having that, Z, if that's his new name, or we're calling it Z, having Z join the team. It's been very useful and just saves time, a tremendous amount of time. And now having the Meld integration, that saves time because we don't have to create we don't have to go back and for each item on the report go and create the melds. They're there before the person doing the assessment even returns to the office.
I say that's definitely another portion of the zAssistant piece that people aren't necessarily seeing in real time, but zAssistant is built into the Meld integration as well, where it's able to predict and fill out all those things that might need to be sent over in that stuff. So,
and the nice thing about Mr. Z, is that if you're maintenance person, the person doing the assessments, English isn't their primary language. Maybe they have a mashup of English or a second language. It has no problem with it. It's pretty amazing how well it's able to not just interpret, but then formalize the language. So if you're sending these reports to your owners, you don't have to then somebody has to go in there and clean things up and work on grammar, punctuation, all that. It does it very well. And even maybe in our case, the person that does inspections on our team, Spanish is their primary language. He does the assessments in Spanish and it spits it out in English. So I mean, it's pretty cool.
That is awesome. I love hearing about the people actually doing it because when we put it together and we released that, I was so excited for it, but I was like, I don't know anyone that does inspections in Spanish. So hearing that your team is doing it and loving it, that makes me really happy.
Having it in Spanish is huge, or other languages. I mean, that's where AI is so amazing. But the other thing is, people don't realize that maintenance and communication are the two number one reasons people leave property management companies,
Yep.
not price. People always say, well, if I'm just the cheapest, or if I just do this, price is up there, but it's definitely not one or two. So if you get maintenance under control and you communicate well with your maintenance and you have good pictures, the things people think is they think that you're trying to rip them off with maintenance. But if you can show them that, hey, there's the old air conditioner, here's the new air conditioner, we didn't just not replace it, then, and that's where zInspector, Property Meld, all these other softwares using Rent by all these other things help us as property managers maintain customers, because they maintain communication, and they allow us to know that, oh, that is actually mold under the sink that we ripped out. It's not just something that we're making up and just trying to charge you.
Yeah.
Huge. Definitely. I mean, that's every business runs on communication. So, I mean, the fact that we are doing it well in this side of things, that makes my heart happy too. But yeah, that's awesome to hear. And at the same time, kind of relating this back to the whole AI as a whole. Obviously, if you're using zInspector and not using zAssistant, I highly recommend it myself, and it sounds like these guys would too. But in AI in general, I know we discussed a little bit about agentic AI, but also even just using something like ChatGPT in your business. Wolf, what would you say to a PM that's just hesitant about getting even started with AI, not knowing what to do?
I think the reason why you might be hesitant, there's a couple reasons, but I think the biggest one is the fear of, well, this thing maybe can do more than I understand. So how do I get my team to use it correctly? Or, we don't send out the wrong stuff, or, whatever. So I would look at, well, set up a policy, right? So having a policy as a company around, well, where will we use AI? How do we determine what type of AI tools we'll use? How do we make sure that the AI is fair housing compliant? That's a big one, especially if you're using it for like marketing descriptions. So having a policy, I think, will build a little bit more confidence to explore. But if you don't want to do that yet, just pick one of the AI chat GPTs out there, whether it's chat GPT, Claude, or Grok. Just pick one and just start asking questions, see what it can do, and just have a conversation. I know it seems really weird because you're like, well, I'm talking to myself. And it's like, well, not really. But as you start to ask more questions, and it will ask you questions and you answer them, that you'll naturally start to see like, I wonder if I could do this. Just do it. You're not going to break anything, right? Unless you actually send out the product that it spits out, or you connect it to one of your other tools. It's just contained in there, and just see what you can do with it, right? Maybe one thing you could do, I remember very explicitly, I was on a flight home, I was on a Delta flight, and I was going through, and ChatGPT says you can now have attachments. I was like, oh, so I logged in Appfolio while flying, downloaded a year's worth of work orders, and didn't really give a great prompt. I just said, here's a year worth of our work orders, what do you notice? And it identified some patterns in maintenance calls that we then turned into some programs at our company to be a little bit more proactive in maintenance, to provide a preventive maintenance solution. And so far, it's been really successful, and it's cut down on work orders. So that was a great thing that you could do. So I think just start chatting, throw some data into it, see what you get, and it will just naturally come to you how you could use AI in a way that is beneficial to your company.
And Wolf, I'll add, from someone who's not as technologically savvy as you, I feel like I have some technology skills, but I'm not like you, who's just like doing coding and other crap that I'm just like, I don't understand what you're doing. The way I used AI is I used to have Grammarly. I'm dyslexic, and so I'm always afraid of spelling errors. I would tell you right now, if I had my company, I would not have Grammarly. Grammarly would be something that would be thrown to the shelf. I believe their stock probably, I'm not looking at it, probably is dying because of AI. Because now, every time I write an email, I put in AI and I say, make it funny, make it serious, make it like a lawyer, whatever I need the tone to be, it does it. The grammar is correct. I can turn that email and I can say, I need this in Portuguese, and it will give it to me in Portuguese. And for some reason, my client was in Portugal or something. So it just on simple things like, I've done it for text. Like, hey, I'm sending this text out to these group of people. Can you make it so it's not so wordy? Because I'm a wordy person. And I'm like, can you make it so it's in like 2 lines instead of 8? And then it would give it to me really concise. So those are things that we can all do, and they're not that techy, but it gets you comfortable with AI, because now I know how to prompt its questions. And when we have meetings, a lot of times I'm the one on the AI and not Wolf. And Wolf is the tech guy with our company. So I love AI. I use it every single day for just, if I'm going to buy a jacuzzi, these are the 3 models. Can you tell me, can you do a Google search and tell me? And it usually doesn't give me a lot of the correct information when it's products. It's not really good at that yet, I'm finding, but it still gives me a basis to go off of. It gives me ways to look at it. So I would say just start playing with it. Would you agree with that, Wolf?
Yep. Can't break it.
If you do manage to break any of those big ones out there, ChatGPT or Grok or Claude, I would be thoroughly impressed. But yeah,
you'll be in the news, that's for sure.
Exactly. And if you're doing it for a first time and get access to that much data where you bog that system down, that's kind of mind-blowing. But that's the thing. I mean, it's processing so much data. And I like what you said there, just kind of throw data at it. Whether it's a few paragraphs or whether it's an entire year's worth of work orders. That's the really cool part about AI, is it's taking all these inputs and spitting out what is being interpreted as usually the best version of what you can get from it. It's like I equate it to when I was learning Chinese. I would try to directly translate something from English to Chinese and totally messed up what I was saying because I would use the wrong verb for a certain phrase or something like that. Where it's like now you input a paragraph and it can spit out everything based on every version of text that it has in Chinese. It's like, oh yeah, it's not going to spit out the wrong version of that for you. So cool stuff. Now shifting gears again, we got AI, we got Tenant University. These are just parts and pieces of a whole segment of things that is going to be coming at PM Systems. Wanted to give you guys the time to even tease PM Systems Conference even more. Like I said, zInspector's been sponsoring PM Systems for years. In fact, I actually have some fun stuff here, some little props to show off real fast. This is my badge from last year.
Yeah.
It wasn't my first PM Systems. My very first PM Systems was back when you actually held it in September, and I was with a different company. I don't know if you guys see that.
Yeah.
Tenant Turner back in 2022. That was a blast.
Wearing the Hawaiian shirts.
Another prop. Way to go. There's our bowling. So if you want to come to PM Systems and go bowling with us, that's still happening, right?
That is.
Oh, yeah.
That is.
We've actually doubled the number of lanes, and it's people hear bowling, they're like excited. They're like, get me out of here. This is not bowling. So it is very, very, very different. A lot of fun.
It is. We have every sponsor has 2 lanes now. And this year is the first year that we are going to have part of the competition will be like, you have to get 3 pins down in both lanes at the same time. There's gonna be a lot of 2-lane like challenges where, one person has to bowl a strike, one person has to bowl a gutter ball, and then you have to yell, we're the greatest bowlers in the world. Like, we make it so our goal when we started this, we had like 12 lanes, was let's annoy the crap out of real bowlers. Let's like make all those real bowlers in the bowling alley just can't stand us. Now we have almost a full bowling alley. And when we had the Congo line going last year during the bowling, they were Congoing down the bowling alley. I mean, that is not bowling. And if you don't bowl, you just go for the party. You just go and you hang out and you get part of a team and you get a shirt. It's not bowling. We don't even want to say it's bowling. We call it bowling bingo. And it's a competition. It's just a way to give you another point to sit with other property managers and talk about stuff and find ideas and make connections. I mean, that's what it's about. It's not about the winner or the loser, even though the winner is, better who won last year, the company.
Get a trophy.
Yeah, there's gonna be a big deal with the winners who win, but it's not about that. So, Systems Conference, is exciting. Like you showed that badge and you showed how they are now. The first couple of conference, the badge was "Hello, my name is," and you wrote your name in pen. I remember the first time I tried to create badges. I think we had 25 people there, and I tried to create them on my printer during the conference, and I didn't get them. So I bought "Hello, my name is," and we put those on. I mean, it was like, it wasn't about like when I was running it, it was a small group. I mean, it started with 15 people. I mean, it was started with I wanted to get a discount on a speaker, and I wanted us all to split the cost of the speaker. So it's grown and changed a lot. And as Wolf said, Wolf, started being a speaker at the probably about 7 years ago before COVID. And then about 4 years ago, I made him half owner because I had retired from property management and I was thinking of letting the system conference go. And Wolf was really passionate and I loved the conference. I just didn't like being responsible for all the technology. And now our technology is off the charts. I mean, the app that you get is in the app store that Wolf has that can, you can talk and you can get to people. It is top rated. I mean, everything we're doing. We have 2 tickets left and we're sold out. And for vendors, we're sold out. We're sold out for vendors.
We mean real sold out, not that tactic. People say, "Oh, we're sold out," but if you act like we're legit.
No, we have
There's only 2 slots left.
we have 223 people signed up. We had 171 last year, and we have 13 rooms instead of, I think we had 11 last year. So we've added 2 rooms. We still want the small feeling. We still want the, like when you go to a room, we don't want there more than 20 people in a room. We want, our speakers to be sitting there in circles. I mean, we want to talk about kumbaya or whatever you want, but it's, we talk 3rd grade teaching strategies. We tell, and you'll get this at our speaker meeting when we meet with you. We say, imagine a 3rd grader. Well, you have discipline. Well, property managers are less focused than 3rd graders. So you have to make sure that you're teaching them where you don't talk for long periods of time, and then you get them actively involved, interactive, because me and Wolf know from education, that's how you learn. Get your hands in the weeds, get a product done, and spend 20, 25 minutes learning and then 40 minutes implementing.
I love it. I was going to say, I remember you asked me a couple years ago after my first one, what did you get out of it as a sponsor? And my response was really, it feels like the most, I think that's the right word to use, the most intimate conference experience I've ever had. Just the ability to connect with people and really learn from individuals and not just be stuck in a room with a whole bunch of people. 'Cause I love the format you guys do, the smaller rooms. There's not necessarily a giant session that everyone has to go to or anything. We're broken into groups of, you can choose which room you go to for any of the presentations and stuff, which is really awesome. And then lunches and things, we get to have fun with all the sponsors and everything. I'm excited to get lunch for some people, play some games with people. We got a little gathering the first night. We're going to have games and everything in the room. So it's just an overall intimate, really connection building experience where you walk away knowing not just awesome things you can do to really take your business to the next level, but also building some really cool relationships with others that might already be doing what you're trying to do, that you can reach back out to after the fact and be like, hey, I'm running into this issue. How can I fix this? What was your experience? Things like that.
Well, we also have
one of the things is that, oh, go ahead, Paul.
We have activities from 6 a.m. until midnight. Now, I'm never at the 6 a.m. activities, but we have everything from running with Tony Klein and walking and power walking and doing whatever at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., whenever those people meet, till the bar is open till midnight. So in one of our, whatever you want to call it, what are those things you put on the wall? One of our things is all-inclusiveness. We want every single person to come there, feel like they're important. And that is our, like we said before, our Nordstrom mentality. Everybody needs to feel like they have a connection, whether they're a morning person, a night person, a partier, a non-partier. We want you to feel like you're not like, oh, I have to be in the in crowd to know where things are going on. No, everybody knows what's going on. Sorry, Wolf, you can't go on from there.
No, I was just saying that's, you go to a lot of other conferences and they're big mega halls and the hallways are crowded and you're just like a fish in the sea, right? Trying to find things and trying to find people to hang out with. You don't want to be like that lone person standing by the sodas, just like whatever. So like everything we do is geared around curating experiences where people can not only learn but build those connections, which has already been talked about. So, there is no like, oh, did you get the secret flyer to know where this meetup is or that? Like every night there are not just like things, but like really good things. We talked about bowling. The other one we do is we bring in Vegas quality magicians and have a magic show. We have, Second Nature is one of our sponsors. So of course we have a Second Nature party that's more to PMSC style, where it's geared around connecting, but it's all around how not just learning, but meeting people, so that while you're taking what you've learned and started at the Systems Conference, you already have some other people that maybe you can stay in connection with throughout the year and, troubleshoot, brainstorm, etc. Because our conference, you go to a lot of conferences, and when it's all done, you throw the bag in the back seat, you drive home, and it's full of handouts and papers. And like, oh yeah, when I get to the office on Monday, I'm going to do this. And we all know how it goes. You show up to the office on Monday, and hey, while you were out, all these things happened. And then all of a sudden, nothing ever gets implemented. Our sessions are set up where the first 20 some odd minutes, somebody is teaching and presenting something that they are doing in their company. And then it goes into, okay, everybody, let's do it. Right. And so we're rolling up our sleeves. We're working. Maybe we're doing some stuff in AI, or we're tweaking a process, but we're actually working so that when you leave the conference, there's something that has been started that you now can continue. So that momentum is already going to be there when you return to the office to get something more complete or implemented, etc. The rooms, we rent out every suite in the hotel. They're about 1,700 to 2,000 square feet. It's almost like going to somebody's living room and having a chat. So the sessions are designed where you feel comfortable asking questions and digging deeper into a topic, and it's great. All of our speakers are in doing PM in one capacity or another. We have a good mix of sessions where it's a sponsor is presenting something from their company, not necessarily a sales pitch, but just being able to see business from a different lens than just PM is helpful. We have people that this is their first time speaking ever, to those that are very polished. So it's a good mix and just a good opportunity to have something different.
The other cool thing, as I listen every year to every complaint that people have, and we try to fix it. Like one complaint, very easy. We need paper towels in the bathroom because it's disgusting to have towels. And I was like, okay, we got that. We have the towels you pull, you throw them away. It's something I didn't notice, and it was fixed immediately. And so I was so happy about that complaint. The one complaint I will never fix, and I get every single year, is there's too many options and there's too many good choices. Can you video them? Can you do some? I want to see every single thing. And my answer is no. You go to what you go to, enjoy what you're at, be a part of it. But besides the panels, nothing is videoed, nothing is, but people get this, they get this FOMO, the fear of missing out, and they're like, there's 8 things I want to see, and you have 13 choices, 8 things I want to do, and I can't get to all 8. And I'm like, yes, but when you go to that one, just be a part of it, be alive, be happy you're in that one, but come back the next year. And the ones that people love, the sessions people love, we usually repeat the next year. So, just come back and, have a plan of what you're going to get through, but you're not going to get through everything you want to accomplish in your business. So have a plan before you come and stick to it. That's the only complaint I always tell them. I'm sorry, but it's a good complaint to have. We like that you are so excited you want to see more.
Well, if that isn't the theme of my life, I don't know what is. Stick to the plan and don't try to accomplish everything at once. I feel personally attacked now. Well, that's awesome. I was going to say, with the only 2 spots left, we are going to go ahead and post a link after the fact for the post with this to get, if I'm not mistaken, $100 off if you want to register with our link. Like I said, 2 spots left. But beyond that, did you guys want to tease the Thanksgiving thing as well?
Thanksgiving, yes. Our main sponsors at Thanksgiving, we did keep 4 spots available for companies that have under 150 doors, have been in business for less than like a year and a half. So if you're a new property manager, you could be in property management for 10 years, but if you just bought a company and you're small and you're doing, we do try at Thanksgiving to give away 4 spots. We did that last year, and even though we're sold out, so they're going to be I assume we're going to be sold out with the last 2 spots by Thanksgiving. But at Thanksgiving, so if you are a new property manager and listening to this, and you're like, I don't have the money to go to one of these things, and I really want, we are giving that away. Our 4 top sponsors, Blanket, Rentvine, Lead Simple, and Second Nature. They're going to pick the 4 people that each one of them, we have to pick a person. But if you do, conference@pmsolutionspro.com, just get a hold of one of us. We'll put your application in there. But we are going to do that at Thanksgiving. We plan on doing that every year because we got a lot out of doing it last year. So I think we'll continue to do that even when we sell out.
Yep.
Awesome.
Part of our core values as a company.
Yeah.
I love it. That's amazing. Well, thank you guys for this today. We really appreciate you guys coming in here, and having any opportunity to chat with you guys is awesome. We're looking forward to doing definitely a lot more of it at the actual conference itself. We'll say a couple bookkeeping things for the next couple months for zInspector, and obviously PM Systems Conference is a few months away. In the meantime, it's not the same experience, but there are some awesome conferences that I think a few of us might be going to, that you might see us at. So we've got Florida State NARPM conference coming up. We've got Texas Style NARPM coming up. We've also got NARPM Annual Convention and Trade Show. That's going to be a fun one in Orlando. Rent Managers got their conference. Folio's got their conference. So conference season's in full swing. So if you want a teaser of any of the things we chatted about today, there's some amazing content and some amazing people that are going to be presenting that are also going to be at PM Systems Conference at a lot of these conferences that we've got coming up. So join us at any of those. Feel free to chime in and let us know which ones you're going to be going to. And if you haven't registered for PM Systems Conference, grab these last 2 slots. Anything else you guys want to say before we jump? We really appreciate you guys again.
No, thank you for being a longtime supporter of the conference, and genuinely enjoy using the zInspector software in our management company. It's definitely it's an advantage over those that don't use it. So it's great.
I love zInspector. Like I said, when I first started in this business, I remember getting Andy on the phone personally when I would call. That's how long ago I was a zInspector customer. And he would answer and be like, "Hey, this is how you do it, Paul. And how's it going, Paul?" And then sometimes his wife would answer. I mean, it went to his home phone when he first started the company. So I've been a zInspector like a long time. And I love the company, love the core value. You guys have really good values. You really treat people well. And that's amazing. Like there's some companies come very quick and go very quick because they don't treat their core base well. And we really appreciate how you guys treat people.
Thank you guys. That means a lot. We love taking care of our customers and love working with you guys as well. So if you love to build relationships with all of you guys, if anyone else is interested, and if you're not using zInspector, you can always sign up for a free account at zInspector.com. If you are using us and maybe want to try out some of the things you heard about today, go to our support site, zInspector.com/support. Feel free to get your own one-on-one, dig in on some more specifics that you want to dig into, or we've also always got the zInspector 101 and even the zAssistant webinars that you can sign up for there as well. So thank you guys again. Happy Friday, everyone. Have an amazing Labor Day weekend, and looking forward to seeing everyone at conferences.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.